question about that. Someone like me who can only come in and do my testimony and then leave, do I assume that that's going to be done? Because like when I was at that CACR 21, 6 people that I saw testify were strongly in favor of it. And yet I don't know if it's going to pass because I don't know what happened after. And I don't know if I touched on everything because I was one of the first ones.
Then it's harder. If you can, meet with the people beforehand, and you know, if you kind of have a vague idea, like I know this person, they're probably going to testify.
Right.
If you can have met beforehand and compare notes, you can do this point. Okay, I'm going to do this point.
Okay.
That's a really the more important the bill is, the more important it is to have had a conspiracy, to use the proper use of the word, a conspiracy beforehand, and farm out the points. Right. You're the, you know, if this is an education bill, you're the strongest speaking as a teacher. Let's, you know, you do these points. And so on.
I'm curious, how did that one go? Because, as I said,
well,
the first 6 of us said...
It hasn't gone yet. I would say the probability of it getting recommended as ought to pass is somewhere between slim and none. And the probability of it passing on the floor is even less. Remember, you got to... all you have to... coming out of committee as ITL or ought to pass is a simple majority.
So even if everyone there is in favor of it, well, I'm saying that I noticed the guy from the NEA was there, so I'm assuming he probably went last. But
I would. Well, let's look at CACR 23, which is an enumeration of parental rights. Admittedly, I put it on the wrong article. It should be amending Article 2. I do have a floor amendment to that effect. The reason it should be amending Article 2 is Article 2 discusses or presents severable rights, and Article 4 is unalienable. And as we know, people can give their children up for adoption. It is obviously a severable right. And therefore, I mean, even, you know, if the state determines that you are assaulting your child, it's reasonable that they should intervene. And so just as liberty is severable by imprisonment, life is severable by capital punishment, protection of property is severable by taxation, so too parental rights are severable by egregious action or by voluntarily. That said, we had nominally 35 people testify on the bill. 30 or so in committee, or not all testified, but appear, and 2 testified in the subcommittee. Of the people that came in, 2 signed up on the blue sheet in favor, 2 testified in favor in the hearing, public hearing, and 2 testified in favor in the subcommittee. Everybody who testified or signed in favor was paid to be there. They were a member of government or the member of an NGO. Everybody who testified in favor of CACR 23 was a member of the public there on their own nickel. And it was approximately 10 to 1. In favor of the amendment, maybe 5 to 1. And it was recommended to ITL. Those who voted, it was 12 to 4, ITL. All those voting in favor were Republicans. I lined 3 of them up ahead of time. All those voting against it were all the Democrats and a smattering of Republicans. The logic is, and this goes back to why we shouldn't allow the legislature, despite the fact that I submitted this, why we shouldn't allow the legislature to submit CACRs. The argument is, first argument is, well, it's already there implicitly in Article 2. The Supreme Court has ruled that it's there implicitly in Article 2.
I love how that goes. The Supreme Court has ruled, so turn off your brain, stop thinking, it's been decided.
Okay, now, that said, if we do this the way it's written, why, we'll throw our child protection laws and some of our education laws into question. Now, can anybody tell me what's illogical about this?
Most of those laws are already unconstitutional.
If it's already there implicitly, they're already unconstitutional. The danger is enumerating it so people are more aware of what their rights are. And this is why the legislature submitting constitutional amendments is dangerous. The argument almost invariably devolves to, do we as the government want to give up this power? Entirely failing to recognize it's not our power, it's the power that was delegated to us by the people. The question is, do the people want to recall this power from us?